Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast. It's the first Monday show of the season, boys. Are we excited?
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I was.
yeah, that makes three of us, I think.
I think Phil's the only one celebrating a win, isn't he? And
I think he is, to be
I
fair.
mean, if you
Ollie,
beat
do you know the
Jets-
difference between me and Shane, by the way? Because you keep calling Shane Phil.
One of them.
Yeah,
Like one's wearing red with hair, and the other one's wearing purple with no hair, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit.
But I mean,
Oh,
we
mate,
say
have you
Shane
not seen me
celebrate-
over the last 2 years? I
Yeah.
do not get named right.
You do say Shane celebrating a win, but they were playing the Jets, so does that really count?
You can just refer to me as that Welsh boy in the corner if you want to. That's fine. No worries.
No, I'm just saying that a win against the Jets doesn't really count as a win.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'll see in a few weeks when we play them and lose and beat them. So I'll be claiming that as a win.
Oh, you were right first time, mate. Oh, you were right first time.
Yeah, but you need to, because I mean we all watched you last night fall apart, and just
Yeah, we'll get started a bit.
not have a spark at all on offense or defense.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay, well, I mean,
Uh,
I don't really want to get onto any of the games after what happened, but we need to.
yep. Right.
At least everyone else in the NFC West has lost two.
Don't worry, guys. There
At
is
the
a mute
moment.
button. There is mute buttons, okay, and they will be used if Ollie and Phil almost go on a rant.
Oh, mate, I'm going on a rant. I've
you know
been on-
you'd be muted.
I've been on this place. I've been on this place for like a year and a half now. I've earned the right to rant.
Yeah. Go on then. Shall we start with the season opener and the Super Bowl elect champions?
Yeah, did anyone make it to the end of this game? Because I gave up about midway through the third.
I had
didn't
school
think
the
I-
next morning, so
And yeah,
But
It's-
yeah, the Rams. Can't say I didn't enjoy watching them get beat up on
yeah, I mean,
after last season.
I didn't think it would be like that. I mean, it was a 14-point deficit in the last quarter that the Bills took on them. I mean, Josh Allen threw for 3 touchdowns. He ran for 1 touchdown. It was like, yeah, this is the reason why I'm MVP favorite. It was ridiculous. I mean, Jalen Ramsey has been toasted ever since.
Also,
Um,
did you see his post the next day about turning to God and Jesus and all that?
no.
Which
What
one?
did he say?
He was basically like, God, please help me come back from this. Help me listen more and practice more and everything.
He should have thought that before he signed for the Rams, though, didn't he? Should he?
Yeah.
The thing is though, you had there's the one which Gabe Davis touchdown, which Jalen Ramsey went ball hawking and literally got burnt, and it's like the Gable Davis like 15 yards behind you, and it wasn't even a bullet of a pass. It was literally like a basketball pass. That was all it was.
It was like on Madden when you lob it instead of doing the bullet pass and your quarterback just sort of throws it up in the air.
Exactly. And ridiculous. I
I
mean,
also think we should appreciate the fact that Isaiah McKinney did a gender reveal on national TV.
oh, I love that.
But I
It's a
want
boy.
to know what would have happened if he didn't score.
Yeah, I think it was for his sister. Yeah, what would happen if he didn't score?
Would they have had to wait until he did score, or would he have done it
God,
at the end of the
imagine
game?
like if they actually went on like a 10-game losing streak where he couldn't do it.
Or he's out for 10 weeks.
Yeah, or he just gets dropped. He puts in the IR.
It was ridiculous. I mean, do we need to worry about the Rams? Do the Rams look that bad?
Oof.
Yes.
I, as someone that actually goes above and beyond for their hatred for the Rams, I really enjoyed watching them lose and suffer. I think Matt Stafford, I think this season we'll see what he actually is like when there's less weapons around him. I think a lot of the times last year he played really well, but at the same time he played really poorly. Didn't he lead the league in interceptions last year?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So again,
I-
for a Super Bowl winning quarterback to then also lead the league in interceptions, I'm surprised that they got to the Super Bowl as a whole. So that just shows about how strong, their defensive was. I don't think he's got much weapons around him other than Cooper Kupp. And if you take Cooper Kupp out of the equation, their offense is very stagnant.
I also think this don't worry about the elbow thing.
Yeah,
I-
we talked about this on Thursday, and I think there's
Yeah.
always smoke when there's there's smoke when there's fire, and I don't think he's going to be great this year because
the
of
thing
it.
is, the thing is with Matthew Stafford, he's always going to give you two or three balls that he's going to come out wrong. They're going to throw wrong. He's just going to go Hail Mary, or he's just going to do something stupid.
Basically,
He
gonna
saw
give-
he saw it in the Super Bowl, and we saw it again a
Yeah,
couple of times
he's-
on Monday on
He's going to
Thursday
give
night.
he's going to give the defensive backs at least 2 chances. Also, I saw a comment just pop on my phone, and it's not come up on here yet. But evening, Dave.
Evening, Dave. I've not even seen it come on my phone either.
Hey, David,
We are live on Facebook. That's really weird.
we are live on Facebook.
Yeah. I'm gonna try that. Press that button again. See what happens. There we go. Yeah. So we're gonna roll on to Sunday night, and it was so nice to see Scott's face. Not what's going on the telly. That wasn't quite so nice, but seeing Scott's face on my laptop, that was quite enjoyable. And seeing those games go on the laptop. I mean, we're gonna start with Falcons throwing away again. A what?
I mean-
20-point lead again.
I mean, I was worried because I proclaimed pretty much high that they were the worst roster on the league, and then they went out to what was it, a 16-point lead?
Yeah, something like that, wasn't it? I mean, the Saints scored 17-3 in the last quarter to control that, including literally the last, was it kick? Yeah, it was a field
Yeah.
goal right at the very end to win that game.
Now, Dave, just aside, I am seeing your comments, but for some reason they're not coming up on here.
That's really strange. Evening, Dave. Mariota looked not too bad, if I'm honest. It was okay. He made some good rushes. He passed like 20 for 33 attempts for 215 yards. Okay, he didn't throw any touchdowns, but when you've got Drake London, who does look a good wide receiver, when you've got Kyle
Yes.
Pitts, you got Cordell Patterson, who ran for 120 yards with a touchdown as well.
So Dave just said he feels for Pitts. He's too good for that team, which I agree with.
Yeah, I
Yes.
mean, because my last season of, Madden just gone, I literally traded for him to be on my 49er team because
Oh.
he's just too good for that Falcons.
Me and my mate set up a Madden, and we just basically changed all the positions of the players so we could trade for them all, and we had a super team.
Nice.
See, I just take cap space off. Like, just cap
Yeah.
space off.
No, what you do, what you
That's
do
LA
is
Rams tactic, isn't it?
what you do is you make Bosa like a punter, so he's 16. You trade like a 7th-round pick for him, and then you get him back and you make him a defensive end again.
Okay. I mean, what I do is on the player edits as well, I just lower all their stats and then kind of like trade for them really easily. And then like on free agents, I just like bring them all in, whack all their stats off, and then trade them for like first round picks.
So Dave has just said we all need to join his PS5 Madden League, but the problem is I play on Xbox.
And
Yeah,
probably
that's
I don't have-
PS4 because I haven't quite hit that point yet.
Yeah. I'm
Was
not,
that
I'm
Shane?
not that old.
Shane,
I'm an Xbox.
you keep dropping at me. I'm struggling to hear you. Is it just
he
me?
said I'm an Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox
Yeah.
guy, I think he said.
X crossbox.
That's the one. We were going back to Atlanta as well. I think Cordell Patterson is a very, very good player as well. He done well for them last year. He
Yeah.
scored a touchdown this week as well.
Yeah.
So I
He got me-
think he's always
He got
good
me
for
20 points.
He's
yeah.
like a slightly worse version of Debo,
yeah.
who doesn't
I would like
fumble,
to change that to a slightly older version of Debo.
who doesn't fumble the ball.
You'll get your game in a minute, okay? You'll net.
I'm really trying not to blow up. I'm really sorry I can't. It's
What about Tyson Hill? You know when you're going to get Tyson Hill on the pitch, he's going to run.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know. It annoys me that it's like if Taysom Hill's on the pitch taking the snap, you know it's going to be a scramble, so set up for it.
Yeah. And what was it? 80 yards nearly that touchdown
Yeah.
that run?
Yeah.
It's like I'm just going to run through everyone. It's fine.
Yeah.
He is a big, strong. He is not a quarterback as in your normal quarterback. He is a tight end. He has got
Yes,
a tight end.
yes, Dave, this is better. We can see your comments now.
That's
I mean,
really weird.
I always find Taysom Hill. He's like a a level up version of Tebow. That's how I see him. Like he's just
Well, I mean-
one up. Like
I mean, Tebow tried to play tight end in the NFL. He's now playing tight end in the
Yeah.
NFL.
But Taysom
So-
Hill did have 2 attempts for 81 yards, so that's good going for a quarterback. You know?
it is, especially when
Yeah,
it's built like a tight end.
He's a tight end now, isn't he? Technically.
Yeah, no.
Well, they've got him as like halfback, fullback, quarterback, tight end. I mean, he can play more or less anything other than wide receiver in terms of like his skill set. I just think he's
Jack of all trades, like
Payton
think
did
the
such
only-
a great job with him.
Unlike they need a kicker. They could do with a kicker, so they could convert him into a kicker. Then he would.
Well,
goes
I
down.
mean, the Chiefs tried that with their safety, didn't they?
Hey,
He was good.
He nailed a
He
couple.
was. I'm not saying he was bad. I mean, that kickoff that went through the uprights.
Twice.
But I mean, we'll get to that game.
Um,
I mean, I'm just going to log off after the Niners game because that's the only reason I'm here.
Go on then. Because it looked so good to you when you were 10-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, we should have been out of sight at the half time. Like they had I swear they had about 20 yards of offense in the first half.
There you go. That's Dave's answer. QB, tight end, wide receiver, running back. Oh, hang on. We're going to get to that one.
Thanks for that one, Dave. Trade forward. I mean,
Well done, Dave. Well done. Bit of banter there, I can see.
to be fair, Dave was on this podcast saying that Jimmy Garoppolo should start.
Okay, all right. So, I still think we are still the best team in football. Yes, we lost to the Bears.
I do have a mute button, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a mute button.
We are still the best team in pro football this season. I will stand on that.
I mean,
The Bears did not beat us. We committed suicide.
Yes, I will give you that. We beat ourselves.
We committed suicide. Trey Lance played. He was not the reason for why we lost. He didn't. He had a ridiculous amount of pressures put on him from the O-line. Our run game was non-existent, and I think if Debo didn't fumble in the red zone, it would have been a completely different mindset. I think the idea that we had the weather as an excuse is just too prominent on our team, and just the defense in the second half. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan does to our team, because in the second half he has a recurring theme of we'll blow them away or play really dominantly in the first half, but the second half he just says something or just changes the game plan and it just kills us, absolutely kills us.
So
I don't understand why he didn't have Trey just throwing 30-yard bombs still.
Kelly
something about
Kelly also just commented, and it's not come up on here, saying that I jinxed them because I messaged Kelly saying how good our D was, and then I think
then there was a 51-yard reception.
the next play, Dante Pettis scored a touchdown.
I'm gonna slightly jump a little bit here because I remember when St. Brown scored for the Lions.
Yes,
Yeah.
Less than 3 minutes later, his brother scored for Bears.
yes, we know.
Yes, I saw that as well. Was
Um,
his dad
Just said,
Mr. Universe?
Yeah, his
Yes.
dad was missing.
Yeah,
Like I
He
don't know.
trained with like Arnie.
yeah.
I honestly don't know what happened to our defense in the second half.
You could say that about the Pettis touchdown because
'Cause our-
there was no one near him.
Yeah, our D line decided that we were just going to run after Fields instead of actually trying to tackle him.
Mhm.
And then our back seven just decided that they couldn't be asked to cover people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure. Like, for that Pettis touchdown,
Jesus
Really?
Christ! I watched it on the telly. I was like, "Where's the coverage?"
Greenlaw is like running away from him.
I mean, if you look at it, because he went left, so he's throwing it across his body.
Yeah.
Normally you throw it, so he scrambled round to the left,
I
and
mean,
as you look at
was-
it, the DBs were following him.
They just
and Pettis
like the whole defense just shifted over.
Like,
and
it
the
it's
wasn't,
Pettis stayed out there.
it,
and
wasn't,
it was,
it was an incredible throw,
it
but
was a
like,
very good throw.
just stick with your coverage. The D linemen are the ones that are meant to get the quarterback.
Yeah.
Let them do that. You
They
worry about
always
your
say-
man, whether it's zone or man. If it's man, worrying about your man. If it's zone, worry about your zone.
Yeah.
Like, don't
One thing,
start running
one
towards the quarterback.
Go on,
maybe
Shane.
this is a bit of a consolation. Trey Lance did throw for more yards than Justin Fields did, if that's any sort of consolation to you.
Yeah,
at
and
all.
he probably rushed for more yards than Justin Fields did too, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Justin Fields always seemed to beat you guys though. Always
He
has a
did-
good game against you guys.
Yeah, to be fair, that run last year was immense.
I
So
mean, he's
eight
still
goal difference.
massively vexed that we picked Trey over him. Like, I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I remember at the when we drafted Trey, there was a lot of talk of like, will we take Mac Jones or will we take like Fields or Lance? And I
I mean,
remember,
it came out quite early in that draft week that we didn't like the attitude of Fields.
yeah. I
And
can't
you can
blame
see
him. I
that.
don't think I think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, like, and not like a Steve Young or I need to prove myself chip. Just a bit of a bad chip
And
on his shoulder.
I'm just worried Justin Fields is going to get an Aaron Rodgers like chip on his shoulder that these guys didn't pick me chip.
Oh,
Yeah.
what like
Well, like
Kyler
Randy
Murray
Moss
got?
had for years.
Yeah, and like Aaron Rodgers does against the Niners unless it's in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. Then he kind of like confirms why we didn't pick him. Whoop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Um,
last night sort of confirmed why we didn't pick him. But
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Smith isn't in the league anymore, so
he's retired, isn't he?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
thankfully.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to start Aaron Smith because that was a horrific injury he had.
The same
know,
after the
But just while we're on the Niners, can I just float something to you guys?
No.
no.
Go on.
Jimmy to the Cowboys?
No, I wouldn't actually trade him to any NFC team.
And just so we're straight, Elijah Mitchell's on the field, we'd have won. If Kittle's on the field, we'd have won.
And if Debo didn't fumble in the red zone, we would have won. So it's
Why is it? If we
Obviously-
should, because the world will be an ocean. So
yeah.
It was a-
I mean, Dave just said like the weather had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But
I mean-
Chicago played in the same weather and they didn't mess up as much as we did.
Yeah. By the end, you were literally swimming 10 yards, not running.
Yeah.
Well, when they won that game, you literally, I think their slice started about the 5-yard line
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw.
and went through the end zone. It's like, yeah,
was,
carry on going, boys.
it was further than the Bosa slide which we have in our intro.
Yeah. Oh,
From
yes.
And
Washington.
Honestly, a couple of years ago, I had that GIF as my starter on Tinder. Bosa sliding.
Of course you
With,
did. Sliding into the DMs.
Yeah, with my comment was me sliding into the DMs like.
So how do we describe the game in Pittsburgh? Do we describe it as a game of what the heck was the O-line doing?
I think
For
we described.
Bengals.
I think
Why
we
were the
described
kickers
it,
missing everything?
I think we
the long
described it
snapper?
as the reason I lost to you on Fantasy Football.
Hey, I had Joe Burrows in another league and I still won. No,
I,
Dak is better.
I say that's what we describe it as the reason why I lost my matchup to you.
I'm gonna put a little bit. I'm gonna side with Evan McPherson not being his fault for missing those kicks.
No,
So your long snapper goes out, injured. No one else trains for that. You don't expect a long snapper to go out. And
I mean,
they saw a good one in football today. They're only going to go out for like 8, maybe 10 snaps a game.
that kick just had everything wrong with it. Bad snap, holder put the laces the wrong way, bad kick.
All right, calm down,
three
Ray
of the
Finkel.
all the 3 he missed. The first one, the snap came out too slow. So the holder had to go literally kind of grab it from the ground. The next one literally almost went over his head. That was a great bit of fielding, and the other one was too low.
Yeah,
And your kicker. If we're talking about kickers in a minute when we get to the Chiefs game. Your kicker is like, right, okay, you snap coming out normal, bang, 1, 2, 3, gone, and it's gone. And you could see him, Evan McPherson, a couple of them started his run and stopped. Literally,
Yeah.
it was like one of those, those penalties when they take a run up and hold them.
yeah.
But yeah,
but I mean,
And-
with the one where the laces are pointing the wrong way, I know that affects it, but still, an NFL kicker should be able to change. Like, he's still kicking the ball. Just kick the ball. Like, the laces don't make that much of a difference. I mean,
No.
Phil, I'm not sure if you think about this daily, but that game a couple of years ago against Seattle in overtime,
Yes.
when Robbie Gould was injured, and we had that kick
Hmm.
that to win the game in overtime, and
Yeah.
it ended up in the tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just sometimes I don't know what's worse to lose a game: throwing an interception or missing a field goal.
Yeah,
I mean, both are pretty devastating, but in that instance, you would hope
I mean-
your kicker, whose job is to do that.
yeah. That season we lost 3 games and we shouldn't have lost any of them.
Yeah.
And then we
No.
lost the Super Bowl. But
The thing is,
Excuse
though,
me?
right?
I don't know what you mean.
My
Shut
issue
your
is,
mouth,
right?
Shane.
di-
We'll come to
different,
you.
different Super Bowl, Shane. Different Super Bowl.
My issue is, right, Joe Burrow's threw for 4 interceptions. I always said 4 touchdowns. They wish.
He-
And he has a fumble.
Yes.
Yet they've almost dragged it into overtime.
They
In fact,
drag-
they did drag. They
drag
did
it to
drag.
overtime.
Sorry, I rephrase that. If they wasn't for the bad kick, they wouldn't have gone to overtime.
Yeah.
I think, and I kind of thought about it in the playoffs last year, but then watching the Steeler game yesterday, I think Joe Burrow is going to be this generation's Brett Favre,
Yeah.
where
I
he's
mean,
just going to be a gunslinger. He's going to throw interceptions, but he's also going to make plays and make touchdowns. And I think
I'm gonna
that's
pull this up.
Stafford 2.0.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull this comment up from Dave because I want to talk about it.
Oh, what?
That chase catch at the end, but he was out of bounds.
Oh, incredible. What a catch.
I mean, Jamar Chase is like Odell Beckham on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but like Giants Odell Beckham. Like
oh yeah, like prime Odell Beckham, like that one-handed catch into the end zone Beckham.
the one-handed catch Beckham, but like on steroids. Not literally, but I'm not trying to convince him to accuse him of doping, but like he's just
Stand down, Roger. Stand down.
I've watched that one now. That Chase was literally caught it on the goal line. I've seen it a couple of times. I've seen it down the line. That ball crossed the plane. Why haven't they thrown a flag for that? Why isn't upstairs gone? You need to throw a flag for that one. You need to throw a flag for that one quickly.
yeah. Somebody should have said something.
Yeah.
Because that crossed the goal line.
Whether it
That
was somebody from upstairs or New York or somebody needed to say something because it's like everybody can see that the ball broke the plane.
Yeah, no, I agree. And in a weekend where there weren't that, I mean, there was a couple of like PI calls in the San Francisco-Chicago game, but I thought the officiating the weekend was relatively good, bar that move in the Steelers and Bengals game.
Which jury are you on about? That's what I want to know because best jury.
Oh,
in the
is he
league.
talking about Burrow and Chase?
Yeah, he's talking about Burrow and Chase.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. I mean, they're best friends. I mean, they went to college together as well.
Because he had
Yeah.
because Dave had this comment beforehand.
Oh, but yeah, okay, I'm with him now. I've
Yeah.
caught up now.
Yeah, no, I think. I mean, then we'll know in a couple of games' time, but like maybe Adams and Carr also might be the next kind of like really quality
Oh
duo
yeah,
as well.
I mean, the high school connection.
Yeah,
What I mean, obviously, brand new O line. We saw it last year. The Chiefs had a brand new O line. It took them 4 or 5 games to get into sync, and then the Chiefs were on roll, on fire, absolute fire. I think we could see the same with the Bengals as well. I
Yeah.
really do think that.
Yeah, is that a segue onto the Chiefs or not? Because
I mean, so just
we'll
to
do
kind of like
that in a bit.
cement, kind of like just talking about. I mean, because I think we need to give a bit of props to the Steelers. I mean, they don't deserve it, but they looked like they hadn't missed too much of a beat without. I mean, they've had to replace Big Ben, who they had for nearly 20 years that they had Big Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which played
Yep.
yesterday.
You had a good stat with this, Shane. Can you remember you shared the stat with us?
Oh yeah, I can get back to you on that one. I think that's the first regular season game without Big Ben since 2010. I think it was.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
I mean, considering that they're going through their own quarterback controversy, whether or not what's his name? Is it Keller?
Yeah.
Keller and Trubisky. I mean, neither are top tier or even second tier quarterbacks, but they look really strong as a unit. They look really, really strong, and they didn't look like they missed even the presence of Big Ben, or he was such an overarching figure. And they've lost players anyway for like free agency. But I thought they held their own, and I think I've underestimated them this year. I don't think they'll be amazing, but they'll be there and about looking for the playoffs.
as you can see, the resident Bengal fan has jumped to Burrow's
Don't count Burrow out. How much he was sacked last year, and he's still absolutely no. I'm not Kelly. I think Burrow is a very, very talented quarterback. I just think there are more holes in his offense. that's going to help him. I think that's going to be a detriment, as we found out in the Super Bowl, because he wasn't the reason why the Bengals lost the Super Bowl. I mean, at one point the defense just gave up.
I
Yeah,
mean,
especially when you let
yeah.
Aaron Donald literally run at you free. You've
I
got
mean,
Yeah,
to
I mean,
defend
I
him.
mean,
mean,
the
that-
amount of times he got sacked last year was ridiculous,
That
and he
was
still got
another,
the Super Bowl.
that was another problem with the Niners game. Our O-line decided to just,
Yeah,
That's
our
all
bad.
O-line is absolutely diabolical. But that's move on now. Let's talk about Seattle on Thursday when we come to our predictions. Because I don't want to talk about San Francisco anymore because I don't
Shall
want to
we?
be upset.
Shall we roll into Hard Knocks Detroit? The home team, first time they've sold out in God knows how long, and they almost brought it back.
yeah,
Yes.
what a game it
What
was.
I think it was game of the week as well. I genuinely thought it was game of the week because it was almost like end to end. Like every time they go back to red zone, it was either one way or the other way. It was brilliant.
Jamal
highest-
Williams.
It's the best game for the neutral, I think.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good game.
You know, we had Kelly's little girls and with her sat with us watching, and she's, I'm going to be the blue team's fan, pointing to the Lions. Yeah, so obviously they've drafted a couple of really good receivers. Obviously Jamal Williams is still, Jameson Williamson's still out,
Yeah.
but Jamal Williams was absolutely super. Had a really good run, couple of runs. DeAndre Swift ran for 144 yards. As Kelly said, Rodriguez, the 6th round pick linebacker. He stopped.
We love Rodrigo.
Oh yes, I think the whole of Detroit loved him. Second highest selling jersey behind Hutch in Detroit.
Yeah. Whenever he's like on the screen, everyone's like, Rodrigo!
He is brilliant. I mean, he saved a touchdown. Literally, I can't remember who it was against. It was absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Then she said,
Pretty
"I want the
much.
Dolphins," and Ollie told her to get out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. That's
You-
like my son at one point saying he wants to be a Liverpool fan. Nope, get out.
Whoa.
Ain't happening. Yeah, I know. That didn't happen. That didn't last very long. It was a really good play. Obviously, Rahman St. Brown, 64 yards of touchdown.
I still
AJ Brown,
I mean,
155 yards.
while we're talking about MMR St. Brown, Ollie, I still think that was a reach in the 4th round.
We'll see. He is my bank of the year. He scored me 20 odd points in one of my fantasy leagues. I've got it in.
I still think
Wow.
that was a reach in the 4th round.
I think the Lions are going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
judging by
Eagles
their
have
performance,
done well.
Eagles will get into the playoffs, so I feel like, and the Lions, they probably won't.
But there is no expectation for the Lions to get to the playoffs. I think
No.
they'd be happy for a losing season, but not an embarrassing losing season.
Yeah, I think they take 7 and 9. 7 and 9
Yes.
now, but
I'll take 7 and 9 because I suppose I've got to talk about that lot now, haven't I?
yeah, I mean, I've been waiting. This is the other. I said I was just on for the Niners game, but I want to watch you talk about the Patriots too.
Yes.
Where do I start? Where do I start? I mean,
All right. So Ollie, just to start us off with, after watching that game yesterday, and obviously, the embarrassing loss that came with it, the humiliating loss, I should say, that came with it.
Yes.
What is the Patriots' biggest problem still?
Actually, I'd just like to tag on to that question.
go on then.
Ollie,
Yes.
there's a sound quarterback that played yesterday that you've slagged off a lot in the last year and a half,
Malik Willis didn't play last night.
and he basically totally torched your defense.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. I mean,
He did, mate. He absolutely took it to town, mate.
I mean,
No, I don't think he did. I think it was Hill and Waddle.
I mean, 20 to 7. Yeah, but somebody needs to throw the ball. So my question to you is, are you higher on Tua now?
No.
So you
Right.
still,
So then, what is the biggest problem in New England? Then, what is the problem
Yes.
going in?
Right. I'm going to say the fact that there's two problems. A, we've got two defensive people calling the plays on offense. Haven't got an OC. Haven't got a DC. Mind blowing. Our wide receiving core is basically Jacoby Myers,
Bourne.
Hunter Henry, and Bourne when he's allowed to take a snap. Because at the moment he's not. There's issues there. Our front seven on defense looked good. They got to Tua a few times.
Dave disagrees.
I think I think there is a slight problem. You know, not having an out-and-out play caller isn't right. Having two defensive minds as your offensive play caller.
Oh yeah, I'd agree. I mean, I'll throw in my 2 cents in a bit after you, Ollie, but I think I am agreeing with Dave here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see that the players didn't look. Yeah, I agree. The players didn't look comfortable. Our running back core, we looked like Ramon Stevens and Harris looked really, really good yesterday.
Yeah, Harris. I will say Harris looked very good to me.
Mac wasn't quite Mac yesterday. I know he took a real nasty hit, and I'm still a bit vexed about that. One receiver went, or one pass rusher went high, the other one went low. Bang. And
Chop block all day.
yeah, and apparently there was a Patriots chop block, which I still haven't seen the replay of that one. I don't know if Dave has at all or not. And they have penalties offset. Mac hobbled away from that, and now he's received injuries from that. He's had X-rays on back spasms. He's now questionable for next week's game.
Yeah, I know. He's my starting quarterback in one of my fantasy leagues.
The fact that we're always throwing towards Xavier Howard, not to the backup corner on the other side, and his name escapes me. There was a bit plays, yeah, and Dave says that I don't think Mac's confident. He didn't look himself at all.
My question too is, why isn't Joe Judge calling offensive plays? Because I swear he's offensive minded.
He is the quarterback coach, but it did look like that at some points yesterday that it was Patricia calling the plays. I'd rather Patricia calling the plays than Joe Judge, because I don't like someone who does a third and 9 quarterback sneak, because that's just ridiculous.
You were just positioning the ball better.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But to say that, Dolphins offense is electric. You know, really, really electric.
Yeah.
Waddle was superb. Hill, you know, you're going to give him the ball in space to Hill. They stepped off him a couple of times. There was a couple of really,
Yeah.
Kelly makes good points here.
Yeah.
The first drive was superb, and there was a couple of really good drives in the second half as well.
Can I just add in as well, Ollie? And you are more than welcome to shut me down. This is just from an outside looking in.
Where's that mute button?
Yes. I'm a big believer, because we've talked in the past about attitude reflects leadership, and for the last 20 years, the Patriots have never really had out and out superstars, because they are very much a scheme football. They're a scheme unit, whether or not it's a scheme on defense or the same 10 plays that they ran on offense under Tom Brady and co. They're very much a scheme, and that scheme was based around
Are you calling Brady a scheme quarterback?
Well, no, right. So hear me out here. And whenever the Patriots would have some form of hurdle that they used to get over, Tom Brady was good enough in that scheme to improvise. Now, I don't use that comparison to a other quarterback that he might have grown up idolizing, but he was very, very good at improvising when he needed to. And that scheme was based around the rule of fear that terrifying Emperor Bill Belichick would instill, but knowing that they had that confidence of having Tom Brady to help them overcome those odds when they came to it. I think not having Tom Brady or a quarterback that could fill that hole, because I'm still not sold on Mac Jones, and I think the attitude in New England isn't one of fear anymore, because I kind of feel, watching his press conferences from the last couple of years anyway, that Bill is kind of checked out. And I think because he's checked out, I think maybe some of his team, or maybe some of the discipline that he used to scare into, because his philosophy on coaching is, it's my way or I will get rid of you. It always has been. And he wanted to get rid of Tom Brady.
Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, he wanted to get rid of Tom Brady and kept Jimmy, because he wanted to keep Jimmy, because he thought Jimmy was the future, and it ultimately ended up with Jimmy being the one that left. So that's kind of like the first crack in that foundation that ultimately led Tom leaving anyway. But I don't think that fear of the empire of New England is there anymore.
I was going to say,
and I think that attitude is leading onto the pitch as well, of going, oh well, we're still the Patriots, or we're still probably America's team, so it doesn't matter if we win or lose.
Five years ago, I do feel like when you saw Bill Belichick, you heard the Imperial March going on in the background.
Yeah, 100%. With the hood up as well, he looked like Emperor Palpatine. He is a terrifying man.
But now when you see him, you don't feel like the Imperial March, the Emperor's coming as much, do you?
No,
Yeah.
it is a very different New England than it was
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Yeah,
6
the
years
fear
ago,
is gone, and I think that fear of playing other teams, because New England would sometimes beat teams before they even kicked a ball or threw a ball.
Yeah.
And I don't think the team feel the fear from Bill, and the team also don't instill the fear of, oh God, we've got the Patriots this week, what's going to happen?
There is a lot of call around for Brian Hoyer to be the new OC, to call the plays.
Yeah?
It reminds me of when Alex Ferguson left United. Exactly the
Yes.
same thing.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we're going to compare it to our football on in these waters, it's the exact same. That fear mentality of Manchester United,
Yeah.
gone.
Someone
And I
on
think...
the... Sorry, Phil, carry on.
No, so I just think that the fear's gone in New England, and I think people aren't afraid to play them like teams are now afraid of playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Someone
Or-
compared it earlier to the Brian Clough era when at Nottingham Forest.
I mean,
Yeah.
Stayed
yeah.
2 or 3 years too long.
Ollie, you,
And it's now
Ollie,
fallen
you
off
talked
the
about Hoyer. As Dave said, he wants Hoyer to coach Mac.
I think that is the next logical phase to go through.
Is Mac your guy, though? Is Mac your guy?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
I was singing for Mac all along, haven't I? Ever
He
since I
was.
wanted Mac Jones. I wanted Mac Jones in New England. I saw him as a New England player, and I still do see him as a New England player. He's moving his around in the pocket now. He's got more legs than Brady has.
Ollie, this is my question to you.
Yes, I do think, Dave. I think it's Bill's time to go, and I think he will leave at the end of the season.
Dave saw this on the WhatsApp group earlier. There's been a massive, massive chat on the Patriots WhatsApp group. I do think if Kraft will go, enough's enough now. We'll call it for him before that. I would love to see Jared Mayo calling the defensive plays, because I think Jared Mayo is a defensive DC in the making. I think Brian Hoyer is an OC in the making. I would love to see a young college coach come in.
Ollie, hear me out though.
Or John Harbaugh, because he wants to come back to the NFL.
If Bill goes, what about Flores?
He's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but as a defensive assistant, is it?
I think so. Yes.
Do you not think
Um,
he'd go? Do you not think
Or
he'd
get
go back?
or get McDaniels back, because I always
Do you
thought
know-
it was weird
yeah.
that he went to Vegas.
Do you not think Flores would come back for a head coaching job in New England?
He would
when
do.
He started.
I think so.
It could be. I think even if Tennessee start to struggle this year, I think Babel could be an option.
Yeah. I mean, the Vrabel thing, I'm still not over that we won't trade AJ Brown while I'm head coach, and about 2 weeks later trading him.
I will add though, it is week 1.
Yeah.
New England Patriots are never good in the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season. It is historical. They've very rarely gone 4-0. It's always 1-3 and 2-2.
I mean,
It is
I'm,
New England way.
I'm the one that says many times last year, week 1 is just week 4 preseason.
There you go.
Yeah.
As Dave said, we're
But
talking
it
about getting rid of
matters.
Mac after week 1. Yeah.
Imagine this.
I don't think he would.
Brady's
Although
going-
saying that,
Brady-
it was Kraft that wanted
Brady's
wanted
going,
Jimmy out.
Brady's going to Fox though.
Hmm.
Was it Fox or was it ESPN?
Yeah, it's Fox. Shall we give David's time to shine now? Shane his time.
Sorry, Shane,
Shane's
go on.
team. Go on,
Sorry.
Shane.
It's all right.
He sat there
Well-
patiently and quietly.
Thank you. It's not like me at all. Well, my beloved Baltimore Ravens beat the Jets 24-9. And from my perspective of watching the game, I thought the first quarter we were very quiet. The second quarter, it kind of went better. And in the third quarter, it went better again. And then again, I think we took the foot off the gas in the last quarter. LJ threw for 3 touchdowns, 213 yards. My player of the week, unsurprisingly, is going to be Lamar's throw to Rashad Bateman, 60 yards. And considering everyone complains about how bad, how suspect his throwing is, he must have been working hard in preseason then, or doing the workouts, that sort of thing. Because fair play to him, he was on point as well. He played really well. I mean, it'll come now when we play a decent opposition like Miami on Sunday, and then we'll see where we are. But it was nice to see Joe as well. Nice to see Joe Flacco come out against us. He threw for a touchdown in the last quarter. But as I said, I'm happy with the result, and on to Miami on Sunday.
Do you think, because I mean I said to you earlier when it came out, like what Lamar's looking for, he was looking for nearly 300 million guaranteed in a contract. Yeah, because that
Well-
came out on the Pat McAfee show earlier, that he was looking for more than 290, wanted full guaranteed money. Do you think he's going to use this season then to play angry to kind of prove why he should be getting paid this type of money?
He is very much going to be in the shop window.
Yeah,
Uh,
because he didn't look like he was relaxed. He was playing like he was a man possessed. And when we go into Brady a bit later on, I thought played the exact same. He was hyper focused, and they were quiet in the first half, but then at one point they just absolutely tore the Jets a new one. And I was really impressed with Lamar, because I mean some of my criticisms that when I talked about on Thursday's show about what I think of him as a quarterback, I still think they're still there. Those questions are still there, but when they play a better team, we'll be able to properly judge him. But really impressed with him. Really, really impressed with Lamar this week.
What impressed me about Baltimore is their receiving call was always Mark Andrews.
Yes.
At tight end. He's thrown two to Rashad Bateman for a touchdown. One of them went for a touchdown. Devin May? Is it Devin May? Devon May? He had four for 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mark Andrews didn't have a touchdown. Still had 5 receptions.
Ollie, you need to say it like you're French. Duvernay.
Duvernay. DeMarcus Robinson had 2. Kenyon Drake, first game there was like he had 12 catches for like just under 50 yards scrimmage. It seems to be right. You have the ball. When you look at, say, LA Rams, it's Cooper Kupp. If you look at your guys, it is Debo. If you look at Vikings, it's Jamar. It's Justin Jefferson.
JJ.
It's Burrows to Jamar Chase. It is they've got that 1-2 go-to guy, but because you've got all these average wide receivers like we have in New England, the ball gets spread around. Everyone gets catches, and I think that's better than going right. He's going to get double teamed all week. That's why I trust those 3 other guys, unlike Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk about that in a minute.
And the
I
fact
found that so hilarious.
run heavy offense as well. Everyone thinks, we're going to run on them. But now we sort of, like you said, spraying the ball about to the likes of Rashad Bateman. It's his second season. He is our number one. He is wide receiver number 1 now. Duvernay is another one. James Prochet, when he's needed, he can step up as well.
I was surprised because obviously when you traded Marquise Brown, I was like, okay, run heavy offense, but it wasn't as run heavy as I thought.
I mean, Lamar only rushed for 17 yards yesterday. His longest was 8.
Yeah.
So I mean, he threw for 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, with a 98.3 quarterback rating. I mean, that's good. It's good.
You can't argue that, can you?
No.
That is good quarterbacks.
Just from a selfish 49ers perspective, Ollie, Salah. I know he came into New England last year. Oh, the Jets last year. Do you think he's going to need to improve? Still, because I think he's such a great defensive mind. Do you think he's going to have this season as well to have potentially another tanking season? Because I really rate Salah as a coach. I really do. I was devastated when we lost him. I just think he's wasted in New York.
I feel like as a head coach in the NFL, you get 3 seasons.
Sometimes don't even get that.
Like Chip Kelly and Tom Sula.
Yeah, but I mean, most of the time you get 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly and Tom Sula, we don't talk about.
I forgot until this morning when I was listening
Kelly,
to
not you.
Just to answer John's comment as well, he is 100% spot on with that.
I agree. More pass options make better teams. Yes.
More things to defend against. When you concentrate on stopping the run, there's obviously another avenue of attacking them. So he's spot on.
But I think Salah probably. I think the important thing in the Jets is, has Wilson improved?
He made a big step after his injury last year.
Yeah.
But I know
can he make that step again?
Okay, but Dave's just given us some breaking news.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for that.
Oh, bugger.
That's in the injury comments next. In the injury section next.
Yeah, but I
we'll
mean,
come back to that in a minute.
I like Jeff Wilson Jr., but that's a big blow. We'll move on to that. But yeah, I think it's all about whether Mike LaFleur and whoever the quarterback coach is has helped Wilson grow. That's what I think it is.
Shall
Now,
we go?
Can we move on to the Jags Commanders? Because I'd just like to give a shout out to Jermaine Dotson.
Oh
'Cause
my
I know-
God, yes.
I know we were talking about rookies that we want to follow this year. This guy is my rookie that I want to follow this year.
He was really, really good. What's it? I'm trying to find Dotson. There we go. 3 receptions, 40 yards for 2 touchdowns,
Including with
Yeah.
catching the game winner.
including catching the game winner. You know, you can see Jacksonville have made the jump. They do look better than they did last year,
Yes.
Go
but
back
there's
on it.
still that mistakes, and I think, Trevor Lawrence still made mistakes. There was a couple of throws where you're going, "What
Yeah,
the
but I
hell are you
mean-
throwing them ones?"
They did come back from 14-3 down to actually give Washington a challenge.
They were really, really good. John Aguizio,
Yeah.
fantastic game, one for the future. Yeah, I mean, Washington seemed to have a habit of picking up good receivers late. Antonio Gibson was a 3rd rounder.
Dodson was pick 16. That's not that late.
I thought he was a 2nd rounder.
No, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he was 16.
Terry had a couple of receptions, 59 yards. Antonio Gibson was like 7 for 72. It
Yeah.
goes to that again. Curtis Samuel had 8. It goes for this thing again of spraying the ball around for different ways.
Yeah. I mean, they had.
I will never rate Carson Wentz ever.
All right, so
Yeah.
can I just talk about Carson Wentz very, very quickly? Because I really wanted to, because I said on Thursday, I think he's a very, very underrated quarterback. And during that game, he threw 2 touchdowns in the first half, and I said he's an early shout out for who I think will be player of the week, as we were chatting about it. And then he threw 2 interceptions, which helped the Jags get back into it. And then he threw another 2 touchdowns to actually win the game for the Commanders. He's just going to be one of those quarterbacks where he's going to be up and down, but I do think he's a lot better than you give him credit for, Ollie. I really do.
I'm worried for the Commanders whenever Wentz throws the ball. Because it could go anywhere.
Well, they wanted him more than Jimmy Garoppolo, and they had the option, so...
Yeah, but I mean, he costs less than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah,
there is that as well.
But unlike Carson, actually Carson Wentz didn't get a Super Bowl ring for starting, though, did he? Jimmy got his sitting on the bench.
Joe, so did Carson. But,
so did Carson, yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. That's why I didn't make my comparison.
It was less picks for Carson, and B, it was less money, salary cap wise for Carson.
Washington probably could have got
Wentz in the right scheme can be elite. That scheme would have to be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dave, are you saying you want Wentz in New England? Because Mac and Wentz are quite similar, in my opinion. They're both pocket presence, like throwing quarterbacks.
Which is a New England, and it is a Ron Rivera style play.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
It's good.
I'm just saying that I think Wentz and Mac are similar quarterbacks.
It is going to that way now where it is going for the mobile quarterbacks, but there is still a call for these pocket presence. Mobile quarterbacks, yes, you are going to make the DBs have to move around and all that as well. But mobile pocket presence quarterbacks can stand in the pocket, can let plays develop. Plays are meant to be developed, and it is. Yeah, I've always been a pocket passer star. Not now, but wouldn't mind him. I do like that. Baker's revenge tour didn't go very well, did it?
Right,
but he tried. He really tried. Like you can tell, like when he scored that touchdown, he really wanted it to be the winning touchdown.
That 75-yarder.
If it wasn't for that blown call, the revenge tour would have happened.
Oh god, yeah. It was. The kick as well. He's a 4th-round rookie. It was a 56-yard kick, and that was still had another 10 yards on it at least.
Yeah.
It was a great kick, and you sure saw Jacoby Brissett going really, really mental. It's actually popping up on my other computer now as I'm looking at it. It was like, you don't need this guy. This guy can bugger off. The one that's cost us £250 million to sit on the bench for 15 bloody weeks, 12 weeks.
It's also
I'd
nice
lo-
to see Freaky on the score sheet as well.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so good to see him back. And Kareem Hunt, they both looked,
Yeah.
really, really good running backs again yesterday.
And Chubb.
Yep, Chubb had a good run. I mean, Kareem Hunt had a couple of touchdowns. It was really, really good. I think if they can keep McCarthy fit, they're going to be okay. That was a Cleveland's going, we are not losing to that guy.
Yeah.
That guy threw us under the bus. That guy slagged us off. That's like slagged this organization off.
I mean, they did the exact same thing to him. Like
Yeah.
it was not an amicable split.
No.
I
Baker
think
had an
that's.
awful
I
game
think
and then
that's. I
scored
think
his.
that's. I think that's.
No,
an
I don't think Baker
understatement.
had a bad game. I'm sorry, John, but I don't think he did. I mean, he threw for 239 yards. Yeah, he got 1 touchdown and 1 interception. His rating was 85.3. So I don't think he had a bad game. I just think
He was slow starting.
Yeah, slow starting. I feel like the rushing touchdown energized him.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the way that he threw that ball? I thought he hit one
Yeah.
of like the crew on the outside.
It was a proper full-on fastball. It was like, vroom. But the thing is, that rushing touchdown, that was such good O-line play because defense literally it split like they're passing the Red Sea.
Yeah,
It's like, I've got
But
Dave for
what
this. Cheers, guys. He could literally walk in, and that was like anger. That's when Baker is good. When he is pissed.
I mean,
When he is angry, that is when Baker's really,
we
really
know
good.
Baker is good when he wakes up feeling dangerous.
Oh yes. I think he was more trying to sling it too much. So
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't. I mean, the first pass that he did and he got deflected. I thought he was going to get picked. Like he came out
Oh my
too
God, yes.
aggressive.
yeah,
Kelly,
It was great to see him losing
lose.
though.
Was it though? I wanted to see Baker win.
I wanted to see Baker win.
I feel like Baker's somebody that you want to. I don't understand American, but root for.
Yeah, I mean,
Like when I think of quarterbacks that I want to root for, I still go back to like Gardner Minshew, who I absolutely love and adore. And I don't think Minshew and Baker are even remote. Like I will go towards Team Minch than I will Baker. I don't know. I wanted him to win because I just want the Browns to continue being a laughingstock.
oh
But
God, yeah.
I don't know if I want him to succeed. Like
Did you-
he's not one of those.
Yeah, did you buy into Minshew Mania?
Yes, I did massively.
I
I had
really
some friends
didn't.
that were Minshew maniacs as well.
I
Like she went
watched-
to the Jags game last year. She painted on a mustache and literally she bought like a
Love
new
that
jersey
one.
and everything. It was amazing. I loved her.
I didn't buy into Minshew Mania.
Really? I think he's a
Yeah.
really underrated quarterback. I really do. He's too good to be a number 2, but he's not
Yeah.
good enough to be a number 1. So he's kind of in that kind of like stratosphere of what the hell do you do with him? But
Tyler
he will always
Heineke,
be on a team.
that bridge quarterback.
Yeah. And he's
Like,
great
he's-
for morale. He's really good for
he's-
morale.
Yeah.
He's a Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, I saw
Yeah,
him play,
but more of a hype man.
Yeah,
I saw him play at
I mean-
Wembley, and he was
I mean-
a good quarterback.
I mean like Teddy Bridgewater in
Yes.
terms of level.
Um,
You know, bridge quarterback.
We move on.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about Baker Mayfield is the progressive ads. I was in America, absolutely brilliant.
My question about the
Baker comes
progressive-
straight
Come
after
on,
the Rodgers and the
John.
QBs.
No, my question in Baker and progressive ads is they need to film a whole new ones in his new stadium.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
oh God, yes.
But if I see that book club one again, I'm probably going to bash my head against the wall because it just annoyed me.
Barkley is back.
For about 2 games until he gets cocked again.
He was what? 30 yards? No, 6 yards short of a 200-yard scrimmage game. 1
Oh.
touchdown, including the running game. It's his most yardage per game in 3 seasons since his rookie season. Barkley looked energized. He looked like he wanted to the league up, like he said.
Yeah,
You know-
but he'll get cocked in about 2 games and be out for the rest of the season.
Is he another one that's made a paper like you call McAfee?
Yeah, well, McCaffrey will get cocked in about a game and a half and be out for the rest of the season. I
Um,
mean, apparently Mitchell's out for 2 months now too. It's a running back thing.
running backs don't last long in league. I mean, there was one play that made me laugh that Derrick Henry got Derrick Henry'd.
Yeah, I saw that.
Literally, you're trying to break through the line, and one of the linebackers came across, and Derrick Henry ended up going that way off his feet. I was like, never seen that before.
Basically what happened is what Derrick Henry did to Josh Norman.
Barkley was immense yesterday, running through walls to gain yards. Yeah, I mean that it showed with that ballsy. Like instead of we're just going to kick it to take into overtime. No, we're going to go 2 points. It was a pretty shit pass from like Dan Jones, a little shovel pass inside. But Barkley had to made a tackle miss, and then he had to run through 2 people to get that 2 points.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was impressed, almost as impressed as Titans literally capitulating. They had a 13-point lead.
I mean, yeah, they capitulated. I don't know. I couldn't have worded it better myself.
Derrick Henry doesn't look the Derrick Henry last season yet.
Well, I
I
mean,
said
give him time.
You know,
I mean, coming back from that injury, it's going to take a lot.
it was only a broken foot.
It's
And
still
it
quite
was,
big.
and it was what, week 8? So it's nearly 46 weeks ago. So he should have been fit. Yes, he shouldn't have come back to the first playoff game that they lost. Shouldn't have come back for that one.
A lot.
Yeah.
The shit passed by Dan Jones.
But-
How many times you're going to hear that? Yes, all the time.
But I do think Dan Jones looked better than he did last season.
All right, here's one
Under-
for you. Giants fans, who would you rather have? Dan Jones this season or bring in Minshew?
Answer the comment.
Answers in the comment section below.
I mean, I'm actually quite high on Dan Jones. I like it.
Danny Dimes,
He's-
you took him in the draft, didn't you?
On
I
his
did,
best
I
day, Dan Jones is still worse than the worst of Eli Manning. Like,
And
on his
don't make
best
him
day,
run.
he's still
Don't make
him
worse
run.
than Eli.
Yeah, but Eli won 2 Super Bowls.
Exactly, but like we forget that how bad Eli could play. Like he could play really bad. Dan Jones is on his best day, not even as good as how bad Eli could be.
He did scramble yesterday for a first down, but we all know that Dan Jones actually can't stay walking on level ground.
It's true.
Yeah, he wasn't 5 yards from the end zone. That play's going to go down in history. I'm sorry, Dan
Oh,
Jones, but
man.
you're going to,
Is
you
that
broke the tackle, you've gone, you look over your shoulder and trip over your own feet.
That's going to go down in history like the Buffalo kicker who slammed his helmet on the ground and then it comes up and hits him in the nose.
Odell Beckham having a fight with the net.
Yes.
Yes.
Throwing the net, and the net comes down and hits him on the head. Yeah,
I
there's
remember that
one as well.
so much. That was quality.
And the Mark
Sorry.
Sanchez back fumble as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
butt fumble.
Yeah.
Against
Some
us,
things will just never be topped.
no,
I mean,
there is
while
things,
we're
isn't there?
talking about iconic plays and John's watching, anyone want to bring up the tuck rule?
And wrong side. And Brady's, if you watch Man and Raider, Brady admits that he played for that. He made them like the refs go, I'll tuck that when he didn't. While we've mentioned John, should we go to Las Vegas? And my youngest is incredibly happy.
You're welcome, John.
John, how does your connection with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams goes, or David Carr, as Phil has kept calling him on Thursday night?
I love both.
How good did the Chargers look? I mean,
Not
Herbert-
that good, in my opinion.
Herbert, 279 yards for 3 touchdowns.
Eckler looked lethargic.
He's all
I
right.
think-
And he's, yeah.
I don't like Keenan Allen's out for a while.
Yeah, hamstring.
I'm worried about the Chargers this season because the Raiders weren't great they weren't great last night.
Yeah. It felt like we were watching the best of the Chargers, or the best that they can muster, against a Raiders team that are still trying to kind of
Work out
figure out
what
what
they
they want to be.
I'd love to know what John thinks. Here we go. Speak of the devil, just as he appears. Just past the ball, not the three interceptions he had and 2 touchdowns.
And just so we're straight, Carr can pass the ball to someone that's not Adams. Like that is allowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
Problem
we
with the thing is
I mean, he
there's
had
not
8 targets yesterday.
enough to motivate them to actually play well.
Yeah.
I mean, his go-to guy last year was Hunter Renfro. Hunter Renfro had the ball thrown to him 4 times.
You're going to
Yeah, he only
touchdown,
made
though.
21 yards
Yeah, you know,
and 1 touchdown. Yeah.
It's Brandon Bolden had a touchdown. Devontae Adams had a touchdown. Devontae Adams didn't look like the Devontae Adams from Green Bay. It's
Is Derek? I can't stay. Is
Alright,
Carr left or right-handed?
he's right.
I think we need to remember this.
Yeah, correct.
And as John said, yeah, they weren't great yesterday. But
Three
they,
interceptions, 6 sacks.
but they did stay in the game.
Yeah.
They still had a chance in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the best of what the Raiders. I think the Raiders will still meet the playoffs. I think they will get better. I mean, it's one thing to, I just wouldn't write off the Raiders.
It was
Yeah,
very much like John said there. He was looking around. It was very much like Mac with Devontae Parker, that big body in the end zone. Let's go for him. Doesn't matter if he's covered by Xavier Harris or the safety.
He's down there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
somewhere.
It came predictable, and it looked like Devontae Adams. I think he had what? Was he targeted 17 times?
I mean, I remember the Bosa effective sack of Devontae Adams when they were trying to get Devontae Adams to throw it.
Yeah. Oh, that was. What was Carr doing? Carr tried to blow the back, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and blow the block. I'm just going to stand here, really, not actually go and throw a block.
I'm going to try and kind of block Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
But I mean, Derek Carr versus Joey Bosa. There's only one winner of that every time, and his name isn't Carr.
You'd rather someone like that, like Darren Waller. You'd have
Yeah.
a bit more of a chance. Can we go and laugh now? Can we laugh? Please, can we go and laugh at Aaron Rodgers being on the floor in a bit of
Yes.
pain?
Can. Yes, we can.
How bad Jefferson looked like he was playing against high schoolers. Kirk Cousins looked like he had time in the pocket to literally do whatever he wanted.
Jefferson was like 07 Moss last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd even go
was...
90s Moss when they nearly won the Super Bowl with Minnesota. I mean, he absolutely dominated them.
There you go. How good was Jefferson?
Yeah, was it like nine catches, 180 something yards, and 2 touchdowns? I mean, I think he's going to be unleashed this year.
150 yards in the first touchdown.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shane. Say that again, mate.
Yeah, that's why I said last week the Vikings are going to go far this year with the likes of Justin Jefferson playing as well as he does as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked superb. He really did look superb. And then you got Lysa Phelan, you got Delvin Cook, who was 90-yard carry over the ball as well. Really good. It was to Watson. It was a bad catch, to be fair. It hit the bloke on his wrist. One of those catches. You could just see Aaron Rodgers going, that's why I don't throw to rookies.
Yeah.
2 rookies, both times only was on the jet sweep handoff. That's the only time they got the ball handed off
the
to.
problem is, if you don't throw to rookies, you have Tonyan and you have Lazard, and that's it.
Yeah. Do you think? I know it's only week 1. Do you see there's a massive possibility that Rodgers and his hippie, arrogant lifestyle actually might be a negative influence on this Packer team because it's a lot. You've got Randall Cobb, who's experienced and has played with him before, but you've got quite a lot of youngsters, and he's already throwing them under the bus. I mean, when we talk about team morale, I've always thought Aaron Rodgers is a toxic kind of person anyway, and he's just got this toxic kind of like touch all over Green Bay. I think they could be on for a shocking season where they miss the playoffs or have even a losing season.
I don't think they'll have a losing season because they've got too many. They've got a really, really good defense.
I wonder if they don't make it to the playoffs, is LaFleur gone?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Also, did anyone else enjoy seeing Rodgers get absolutely crunched by Zadarius Smith?
Yes, I did.
And then I'd stand up and have an argument with him.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going to lose that one, mate. You're going to lose that one.
Chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. I reckon they drug tested him after the game.
That's Jefferson they're talking about. He's talking about.
John Lewis has said Jefferson was unplayable. He was absolutely superb. As we've said, he was a man possessed. I mean, this guy should have been MVP year before last. He should have been rookie offensive player of the year. Should have been rookie when it is. He is now on a mission to. He could win MVP. He
Yeah.
is a superb player.
Did anyone pick him as OPOY?
I've got a bet on him. Does that count?
No, I put him down as offensive player of the year. I still think Josh Allen will nick MVP, but
Yep.
I mean, if Justin keeps this up, he could even go for MVP. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
over a decade since a non-quarterback player has been given the MVP award.
He
But-
went along.
What was that, Shane?
Definitely.
The first wide receiver in a long time.
Yeah, God, I can't even think he was the last wide receiver to get an MVP.
AP was the last non-quarterback
Yeah.
to win it. And I don't know when the last wide receiver was. I'm going to Google that.
I'd argue it could be either Randy Moss or, dare we say it, Jerry Rice.
Possibly.
Also, just aside Jerry Rice, Jerry Rice was at the game I went to last season in San Francisco signing stuff.
Was he? Nice.
Sure.
I'm going to go see Bon John Jovi because he'll be in the box. Kansas City. Harrison Butker just needs one step for kicks now.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you have Justin Reed breathing down your neck, you have to do something.
As your safety. I mean, Kyler Murray is a fraud.
We had this conversation on Thursday, and I agree. Continue.
Yes.
I think my two fingers are longer than his legs. I am not a fan of Kyler Murray. He is a poor man's. He
I
did.
mean,
look
Mahomes did look very good last night.
Yeah, but
I
against
mean-
the poor Cardinals team.
I'm happy. I had Mahomes as my dream team. No, my eldest had Mahomes. Picked Mahomes at number 11 overall in our
Yeah.
podcast draft.
And then
and then goes to beat Kelly with it.
beat Kelly. But then again, Kelly had the lowest score of anyone in our podcast league. So
Sorry, Kelly. Yeah, I mean, he went. I mean, he was ridiculous. I mean, he threw to Kelsey, Schuster, Scantlin, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Sky Moore had one. Jarrett McKinnon had one.
third other time.
Herman had one. Noah Gray had one. There was so many different targets he went to. It's a case of we don't need Hill. I've got this guy. 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 Yeah, exactly. And that's what it looked like. I mean, Kelsey went for 121 yards.
I think Kelly enjoyed that comment.
Very much so. I mean, Noah Gray got a touch as well. I mean, there was 4 different receiving touchdowns. Kelsey got 1. Edwards-Helaire got 2.
Yeah, I appreciate that for my fantasy team.
That's a lie. There was 5 different receiving touchdowns because Jody Foster, the backup tight end, got one as well.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Mahomes in that MFL one win, Ollie.
Okay.
Where
Cool.
I scored 150 points.
It's good. I mean, Mahomes was like little shovel passing, underarm throws,
Yeah.
sidearm throws. He just looked materials. And I thought Kyler Murray was meant to be studying the playbook and doing homework. He did not look like it.
He looked like he'd been on Call of Duty for a bit too long.
He only had 2 touchdowns. To be fair, he didn't have any interceptions, but his O-line didn't give him a lot of protection. He had 2 sacks. He got hit 18 times. Compared to Mahomes, didn't have 1 sack and didn't get hit once. That's what a pocket should be like. And fair play to them. They, a lot of people were writing off Chiefs, saying the Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs, blah, 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 because they've lost this, they've lost a lot of people. I think the Chiefs look better now than they did this time last year. Well, in fact, that's not hard. They look even better than they did week 14, week 15, like they did last year. Even better. That offense is firing. I'd be worried if I was AFC West.
Yeah.
Very much so.
On to SNF.
Last game of the night.
I'm just like, I mean, I've been very vocal on this podcast about my hatred for the Cowboys. Very vocal.
Wait, you're telling me a 49ers fan doesn't like America's team?
And I've expressed my love for Terrell Owen.
How good was... Yeah, John's agreed. Impressed with the Chiefs yesterday. That's a Raiders fan.
Phil, I'm not sure if you're aware of the Terrell Owen incident I'm talking about.
I remember.
With a star.
No, go on.
Oh yes.
Tell me.
Terrell Owen scoring 2 touchdowns
Yeah.
in Dallas and running to the middle of the field and celebrating on.
Oh, when he puts the ball on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Tio. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But watching
The joystick, as he's called, isn't he?
watching the Cowboys just get absolutely rampaged by the Bucks was almost as enjoyable as watching the Bills beat up on the Rams.
There
Yeah.
was one play, one drive. There was 3 penalties on the O-line by one
Yeah.
player. One
Yeah.
player. Three penalties on one player. Derek Carr wasn't there. Might have not been there. CeeDee Lamb might have been there. Dallas just looked really bad, and I can't see Zeke going, oh, damn, my mate's out injured. I'm going to have to carry this team now. I can't see that because Zeke, ever since that case, where he just hasn't looked the same running back.
Yeah.
I mean, I do universally detest Jerry Jones. I do. I mean, he's just that very stereotypical cowboy, pew pew pew, that kind of like. Anytime he talks on camera, he's literally just like that all the time. But I don't see him being not really the problem because he has equipped the team. I mean, he's not afraid to spend money, sometimes on the wrong player, but he's really put the effort in the last couple of years to try and build a proper championship-winning team. I don't think Dak is going to win anything for them. I don't think he's got that winner's mentality. And Zeke is not Zeke anymore. He's not a team to carry.
In my opinion, McCarthy's the problem.
Yeah, 100%. He was the problem in Green Bay.
Yep. He could take a team so far, but he can't take any further. And I think last year was his ceiling.
He is the coaching equivalent to Jimmy Garoppolo.
When McCarthy won the ring, it was literally because Aaron Rodgers pulled him along.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And he went into Hard Knocks last year, and you could hear him say, "I'm here because I won this."
Yeah.
That means nothing but that means because he won it back in, was it 2010? So he won it 11 years ago. That makes him kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I feel.
I like this.
Thumbs down to Dak. That's a good one. I'll give her that. That's a good one. I mean, it was.
Apparently, Kelly couldn't resist. But I
like you, Kelly.
Cowboys have got a bit of a stretch now. I mean, their next fixtures are Bengals, Giants, Commanders, Rams, then Eagles, and then possibly Dak could be back. If not, it's Lions and Bears.
I could see them with Dak. I could have seen them maybe beating the Giants, maybe beating the Commanders, but I don't see them getting anything from the rest of them. But without Dak, I mean, I don't rate Dak anyway. I don't. But who are they going to? I mean, they're back. I don't even know who the Cowboys' backup quarterback is. Who?
Cooper Rush.
So are they going to look to trade? I can't see the 49ers giving up Jimmy. My mentality instantly went to, would they trade with the Eagles to bring in Minshew? But why would Philadelphia trade Minshew to their conference?
They won't trade into division.
Exactly. So
not mid-season.
I don't see the Cowboys. The Cowboys will have a very unremarkable season. They're not going to win until Lions, and that will be a tough game. I think the Lions will get better. I think
the Lions will get better.
They're not going to be a pushover team. These aren't the 0-16 perfect record Lions from years ago. They will lose, but they will lose beating the living daylights out of you.
They're not even the Lions of last year. I mean, grit.
Jared Goff looks good. He looks good.
Jared Goff did look good.
Kaepernick. Ooh. Kaepernick's time's come and gone. Like, you might as well just have a better chance.
Unfortunately.
Bringing out Bledsoe or Dilfer.
Tebow's still around.
Nothing wrong with Dilfer.
Yes, there is. There's plenty wrong with Dilfer. He was rubbish. Like, he probably is the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, and I will die on that hill. He so undeservedly won a Super Bowl. And when he's allowed on telly, he unrightfully has underneath his name, Trent Dilfer accomplished nothing with his team other than the fact that the Ravens gave him a Super Bowl. Like, he has done nothing else with his life.
High horse.
Sorry, what?
Do you want a hand down from your high horse?
No, because your second greatest quarterback isn't even as good as the 49ers' second greatest ever quarterback.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had Joe Montana and Steve Young, who were 2 and 3 on my list.
Yeah, and then you have Jeff Garcia, who was infinitely better than Trent
Uh,
Dilfer.
Can I just float
Please
something?
do.
Cam Newton?
Oh, Jerry does like selling jerseys.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't think Kaepernick would be the one, but he'd probably make some money off of Newton jerseys.
And there's no number 1 jersey free that's available.
Yeah.
Game's over. Let's roll on to injuries. Obviously we've mentioned Dak,
On
6
the
to 8
down.
weeks. This is a big one. TJ Watt
Yeah,
could be
TJ Watt.
season, could be 6 weeks.
I think he'll be back sooner rather than later, like JJ was.
I mean,
He'll be back early December.
Yeah, I mean that is massive. You know, it was literally there was 20 seconds left of the game,
Yeah.
normal time, and you can see him straight away. I thought he'd done it. I thought he'd dislocated his shoulder because the way he's holding his arm, but he's pointing it to his muscle. I thought that's
Yeah.
torn pec. That's
Torn
gone
pec.
out straight
Yeah,
away.
I think we all saw and thought torn pec.
Yeah. But not only that, Najee Harris went down as well in the last quarter as well. I
Yeah.
think they need to look at their strength and coordination. It is a rolled ankle. It's classed as a foot, but it's saying it's a rolled ankle according to sort of Steelers websites.
I'm
They're
assuming
optimistic.
this is Dave referring to my Cam Newton.
T. Higgins took a hell of a hit in that game as well. He left.
He's in
he looked
concussion
dazed when he
protocols, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Dwan James and Carl Fuller for you boys.
Yep,
Is, how
Kyle Fuller's out for the year with a torn ACL.
Is Fuller a rookie this year or was Fuller a rookie last year?
I want to say he was a rookie this year. I want to say.
I want to
I'm
say
not-
it's 2 or 3
no,
years.
Aye.
Yeah, he's out for the year, and also, like I said, Juwan James rolled his ankle and it looked awful. So we don't know a time frame on that return, but it looks like it may be a season ender.
Keelan Allen out for the charge of the hamstring. They're saying it is a serious hamstring injury as well. That could be months as well on that repair as well. If it needs surgery, it could be even longer.
Apparently Mitchell's out for 2 months.
Yeah, that's an MCL sprain, wasn't it? According to Dave's breaking news earlier on. Thank you for that,
I
Dave.
mean, however, with Elijah Mitchell, and because he was massively injury prone last year and he missed some really, really key times, I just think our running scheme, Ollie, and you can agree with me or not, is you can kind of interchange any running back.
I really like Jeff Wilson Jr.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very good about picking Jeff Wilson Jr. up in the 15th round of our draft. He's going to be our starting running back. And I really like Jeff Wilson, so although Mitchell is an absolute stud, I'm not too worried, and I'm interested to see a bit more of the rookie type.
Yeah.
Price. Whatever.
Yeah.
Carl's very good at utilizing late round running backs.
Yeah,
He's really, really good.
I wouldn't be surprised if we end up picking up another one.
Yeah.
After Mitchell goes on IR.
Yeah. That is quite a big loss for you guys, isn't it, as well on that one?
Because I know we have Jeff Wilson and we have Jordan Mason, we have Ty David Price, but I wouldn't be surprised if we pick up this four.
So when I wrote this out, it was Mac Jones was questionable. They've just done his press conference. Apparently, he's saying he feels a lot better and he wants to go against Pittsburgh, but he is having had back spasm. But it looked a big hit. One bloke, one low, and that's they've got to do a bit more to protect the quarterbacks. I would say that about any quarterbacks. There was a couple yesterday. One was on Justin Herbert. There was he gave himself up, and there was a hit. And there was another one I cannot remember who it was.
There was a couple called on the Niners. But...
Yeah, there was quarterbacks are giving themselves up, and there's late hits, and you've got to do more to protect the stars in the league. You can't help for injuries, like muscle injuries or broken bones or anything like that. But when the player's giving himself up, and you're getting hit in the head, like a couple of quarterbacks did yesterday.
I mean, talk about quarterbacks giving themselves up, and then you've got Trey Lance lowering his shoulder trying to run through a linebacker.
Oh, I'd love to see him do that against
I'm
Jude.
pretty much bouncing off. I think he tried to run through Roquan Smith.
Yeah, he's a big dude. That ain't gonna happen. Shall we roll on to tonight's game?
Oh yes,
We've already
Broncos
done our.
County. Let's ride.
We've already.
God.
I
So-
couldn't resist. I
So
really
Phil-
couldn't resist. It was there.
We all went.
Somebody had to say it.
We've all gone Broncos. If I
Just
remember
while we're
correctly,
here,
right?
Dave's given a quote from,
Yeah.
and John's talked about this.
Yeah, but who was the
Unnecessary
other? Who was the
reference, I
other
believe.
one?
I do agree with this. What do you do if you've committed many slides?
I agree on that one, but they did talk about it, and they said it was J Bell. He looked like he committed late. He committed late on the side. He committed late on the hip.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got to look at it somehow and it's. I don't know.
Just before we move on to this, Raiders entered a team apparently.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the actual Raiders,
What-
the ones that
what-
wear
on
a
the field, off
pirate
the field.
flag?
Yeah.
Oh, off the field.
What did you guys think of the new NFL show on ITV? Because I thought it was really good.
I thought it was
liked
really
all
good.
the words.
I haven't watched it yet. I have. Who's? I know Laura Woods is presenting, but is it still Ossie and J Bell?
Still
It's
OC and J
still
Bell,
OC
yeah.
and J Bell, yeah.
I might
Or
give it a look.
OC as someone put on Facebook and
Yeah, I
starts
saw
flagging the
that.
show off, and it's like, yeah, whatever, mate.
I love OC so much.
I'm
Does
a
Laura
massive
Woods?
OC fan.
Because I used to listen to TalkSport quite a lot. Sometimes I find Laura Woods goes from being amazingly insightful and has really, really good kind of like knowledge of different sports, and then sometimes she'll just go for like a clickbait kind of comment. Does she come across like she knows her stuff? Because I
Yes.
thought What to Name that appeared on the Sky coverage was amazing with Neil Reynolds.
I mean, the first show she
Oh,
worked
Phoebe.
on was an NFL
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. So I would put her in the middle of
Chappers and Walker.
yeah, Chappers and Walker, as I just try
Okay.
to change them. She knows her stuff. She's
I mean,
not as excitable as Chappers.
Did she say she
Let's
was
put
a
it that
Lions?
way.
Did she say she was a Lions fan?
I think she did, yes.
Because I know Chappers is a massive 49ers fan.
No,
No, he's a
Chappers is
Bears fan.
No, he's talked on the NFL show about how he followed the 49ers from the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, but he's a Bears fan now.
He's a
Oh,
Bears
well,
fan now.
I don't know why you changed.
Dan Walker is a Vikes fan,
Dolphins.
wasn't he?
I thought it was Dolphins.
I thought it was Walker is a Vikes fan.
Oh no,
but
Reynolds is Vikings.
You can kind of
Yeah,
tell
Reynolds
a
Dolphins.
fan's age by like what team they started following because of like
Yeah.
how popular they were.
So Ollie is very old then because he's a Niners fan. I'm about right because I'm a Pats fan.
Can we just go back to what Finn said a couple of weeks ago?
What boot?
About me.
You might be old, but you're still way younger than Daddy.
That's my son, my youngest, who's 8.
Don't call me old.
IT birthed in 1996. You can see that here.
I like this from John.
Yeah, but you used to be the Colts, mate.
Well done, John.
Chappers changed
Well
from
done,
Niners to
John.
Bears after this weekend. Yeah, so would I, mate.
Baltimore Colts. Oh my God, yes, that's rolling back.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
Bears
great
fans
story
keep
about
going on
that.
about the 1985 team. That's literally all.
Mm.
That's all they still talk about. The 85 team with
Hey,
Mongo.
That's what our defense was set on. That's what
Anyway-
Worcester's
anyway.
defense was set on.
Lads, Monday Night Football.
Yes.
We've all gone.
All right,
we've all
sorry.
gone Broncos. That way. No, get it right in a minute. Phil's there. He is. Phil's changed.
That's like
Phil, you're
That's
going for the Phil. You're going for the chickens now.
All right, so in hindsight, I've realised that the reason why I hated the Seahawks so much is because I now hate the Broncos for no reason other than the fact that Russell Wilson's on that team. I find him incredibly cringe, and
Yes.
because he caused me so much pain and suffering over the last 10 years, I now no longer see Seattle as an actual threat because they've got nothing to cheer about anymore. I just find him really, really cringe, and I quite like Geno Smith.
It's going to be interesting to see how Tyler Lockett and DK now go.
Well, Geno Smith got them the ball.
And he went through that spell when Russell got injured. It was what 3-1 when Russell Wilson was out.
You details, I remember that.
What if I remember rightly?
Yeah. So I think that'd be all right. I think Russell going back there is different than like Cleveland going to Carolina where Baker was. I think Russell going there, I think it's going to affect him for the first drive.
I think Russ is the only quarterback facing his old team this year that's going in as this week that's going in as a clear favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a Kansas win, and I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Both defenses are okay. I think Denver are the better defense, personally.
Yeah.
And they've got a slightly better offense. I think it'll be Denver by maybe a score.
Yeah.
How amazing would it be though if Seattle won?
I'm gonna give a score 21-17 to Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
just
gonna go
Russell Wilson on his own,
10-7,
yeah.
Seattle.
I mean, Russell Wilson's going to be. He's got options, but not many.
He's going to throw the ball and catch it himself. Go on, Shane.
Yeah, well, as we know, Tom Brady can't do that.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson can run. Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Tom Brady run more than 11 yards? Shane, who are you going for tonight, mate?
I think I'm going to have to go Broncos. And I think our buddy Ollie Hope is spot on. I think it will be 21-17. And I think they're going to rue letting Russell Wilson go the Seahawks are.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously, okay, they got the picks and all that, but Russell Wilson, if they'd have given him an O-line, I think Russell Wilson would have been right. It was like Aaron Rodgers always wanted wide receivers. And I think when Aaron Rodgers leaves, they can start going, let's pick a wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah.
They picked an O-line in the first round.
Yeah,
Seahawks. It was almost like, no, it's like two fingers up to Russell Wilson. Unlucky. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been ranting on for nearly an hour and a half, and I do apologise. Shane, Phil, and Ollie, as always, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show again this week, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back Thursday at 8:30. And it just leaves me to say, stay safe all.